I've actually brought in my design consultant and one of my project managers, Tonya, and she's going to speak to you guys just a little bit about the design and the look when it comes to Salon Suite. I'm going to introduce you guys to my general contractor who did Remedy South, Garfield, and he's going to talk to you guys just a little bit about some of the questions that you want to ask a contractor before you get started so that you know who's a good contractor and who's not.
So this is the our current project that we just finished up. This is Remedy on the south side in Morrow, and this is the third Remedy. So as we walk through, we'll show you everything that we've done. Snoop will show you guys what it was like before we came and how we transitioned from it being just a big box to this. So everything from the walls, and I'll walk through and you can see how extensive a job he did with the walls, the doors. One of the benefits that I enjoy with working with Garfield is when I work with a lot of different contractors, sometimes contractors will do one thing, or you may have a plumber and an additional electrician, which are referred to as subs. But working with Garfield, who is a general contractor, he brings in his own subcontractor. So he brings in his own plumbers, he brings in his own electricians and all of these things, and it's everything down to the walls, the floor, making sure that the ceiling tiles are all in place. All of these things are a part of the construction process, but they also help me with the design process. That's one of the benefits to working with a seasoned contractor, because what happens when I work with a seasoned contractor is it makes everything work cohesively. So in some cases we'll be doing different things simultaneously, which makes everything go a little bit faster, because in building, the times that we set out are never the proper times. If we ask for a week, it's 2 weeks. If we ask for a month, it's 2 months. If we ask for 60 days, sometimes it's 90 days. So having someone that I can work hand in hand with is what makes this process speed up a little bit more. And even with being able to speed the process up, it still can go over. Not necessarily from things that Garfield will do or won't do, and obviously not based on any things that I might do or not do. You have all types of things that come into play when you're doing a building project, specifically one like this that's so extensive. When you look and you see how extensive he was with the walls, all of these things help in the design process. So these are things that I don't have to go out and sub. So under a normal contractor, maybe if I had used subs, they would not have been able to do a lot of the small things, like the desk, for an example. Garfield and his crew was able to do that as well. And then if we walk on through, you can see where we made a waiting area or a reception area, which makes my job so much easier, because now I can focus on the small things, because Garfield is taking care of all the big things. Big things like making sure that these, when we go out and purchase these and we find these, Garfield installs them. Same with these. So that way, if anything goes wrong throughout the course of the next week, months, year, we always have a way to go. So we can always call Garfield back, because he's the general contractor. Hey, your guys did this. Maybe someone pulled it out, or maybe somebody readjusted it, or maybe somebody moved it. But in moving it and readjusting it does not constitute breaking it. So that's where having a general contractor comes in at, because he oversees all of the work that's done here to make sure that all of the work is done properly, make sure that all of the work is done efficiently, and to make sure that we have insurance on everything that we do.
One of the issues that we did have with this project is installing an exhaust system in the ceiling. We have 2 of them in the units. So we had an issue placing them because of all the traffic, meaning all the pipes, wires, everything that was in the ceiling. But we finally got that worked out. You can't see it now, but it's there. And that system wasn't readily available because of COVID and everything that's going on. Delivery showed up, so it was 6 to 8 weeks out. So when you're doing a project like this, you guys definitely have to be mindful about delivery time and how far an item or a fixture might be out because of COVID and everything being slowed down. So keep that in mind. So this project, when we came in, there was nothing here. So we reframed everything, put up walls, doors, trims, flooring, ceiling tiles here and there. We did tile on the desk. We put in exhaust fans, and these are the controllers, security system. Repainted everything, sheetrock. These are to brace the walls. So pretty much that's the inside of everything that we did. Electrical, new outlets everywhere. This all the way through the building. All of these are dedicated. So, from going to a blank space to this, it takes a little time, it takes some work, but like Tonya said, with the right designer, contractor, and a good team, you could get, a finish like this. It might be a little bumpy sometimes, but the outcome is usually what you see here in front of you.
Hey, what's up, y'all? WhoIsSnoop here, and I'm here to tell you guys about an investment that I've been making over the past 3 years. I put together the blueprint for you so that you can do the same thing. Look, guys, I found an industry that requires little to no experience, minimal liability, low staff. I think just hearing those 3 things, you're probably already like, what is it, Snoop? The salon suite industry. All right, so what I've done, I've actually invested in 3 salon suites myself. I've franchised them, and I've put together a blueprint to help you overcome some of the same mistakes that I make when it comes to construction, finding the right location, design. All of these issues will be very minimal once you take this course. So go ahead and click the link below or go to courses.whoissnoop.com.
Sometimes you run into the unforeseen, the unknown. So if you guys take on a project, if the initial budget is maybe $1,000, let's say, you want a budget for $1,250, which is at least maybe 25% of the project, because you never know what you're going to get into when you start taking walls down, and the cost of things as you go, the unforeseen. That's always be an issue in a construction project. So take that in mind. Always have a 25% balance in the reserve just in case you run into any kind of issues.
So one of the best ways to seek out any type of service industry, specifically contractors, because there are so many contractors. In hiring contractors, you don't want to just hire somebody that can put up a wall. You don't want to just hire somebody that can lay floors. You want to hire seasoned people, preferably licensed people that not only have the know-how, but also have the skill set. And sometimes having the skill set is not even enough. You still want to hire somebody who has a team that can come alongside them and make sure that things are done proficiently. Hiring the wrong contractor, hiring the wrong project manager, hiring the wrong designer, these things can be so costly, because this is the person that essentially is in charge of your money when you're trying to get your project up. So like Garfield said, if your budget is $1,000, understanding already you're going to spend $1,250. So the difference between spending $1,250 and $2,000 is going to be based on having the right people in place. You want to have people in place that when a corner needs to be cut, they're going to cut the right corner. You want to have people in place that for business owners, the finances may not be able to flow or may not be always readily available. You want to have contractors and project managers in place that can make your finances flow, so that they're not calling you every day, I need $100, I need $5. You want a project manager that if your project is a $100,000 project, your project manager can manage $100,000. You don't want to bring in a project manager that you give them a portion of the money. Sometimes they'll give you 50% or half of the budget. Sometimes they'll give you a third of the budget, or you'll break it up in threes. You don't want a project manager that you can't trust. You don't want a contractor that you can't trust, because people will get your money and then do other things with your money outside of your project. So you want to have reliable, responsible people that are trustworthy, because trustworthy goes greater than any skill set, because you can have the most skilled person working on your project, but if you can't trust that person, you're still going to be doomed. So you want to have a skilled, trustworthy person that knows how to handle your finances, because if you're in business to get your project off the ground, that's the first part or the first step in your finances. Because if you waste money going into the project, then that's poor money management. So you need a person who's not going to be wasting your money, who's going to be making sure that the products and the people that they're putting in place are the people who are going to save you money, but not the cheapest people, the people who are going to be the most proficient.
I think you find contractors, designers, professional people. What my advice would be is word of mouth always works for me. That's the number one thing with finding a contractor or anyone you want to do. Word of mouth always. You always want to ask for pictures, references, any proof of work they've done before. They can show you any evidence of those. Those would be good. But word of mouth and referrals is always key. And a portfolio. That's the best choice to go with, because that's in front of you and that's as real as it's going to get.
One of the things that I have appreciated working with Snoop, because I've worked with so many business owners who don't have a plan. Snoop always has a plan, and Snoop has a team. I've worked with so many business owners who don't have a team. Well, having a plan and having a team is what makes a project work, because you can have money, right, to start your project, but if you don't have the people in place to take out the different tasks or execute your project, then just having money and having a building and having a product is still not going to work, because you have to have more than a product, more than a building, and more than money. You have to have a team in place, and you have to have a plan for how you're going to execute your business. And you have to have a plan for who's going to do what in what aspect, because so many times I will start a project with clients and they don't have any of these things, right? So then they'll call in me and they'll want me to do the work of a project manager, but they'll want me to get the pay of a designer. We're working with Snoop. Snoop understands how to differentiate between roles. So whatever she's paying me is based on the performance that I'm giving. Even though Garfield is a general contractor, on the first project that we worked on, he worked as a sub on the project and I worked as the general contractor on the project. So having a person on your team that can wear many hats. So if I need to wear the contractor hat, if I need to wear the decorator hat, the designer hat, because decorating is just putting up the pictures, designing is the layout. You need to have an architect, of course, because that's one hat that I don't wear, but you even if you are beginning business and you don't have the finances for an architect, having a person who has a vision that can see what your project would look like from the beginning to the end, that makes the difference. So even though on this project, this Southside project, this is the first project that we've actually worked with a general contractor.
Yeah.
Generally, I work as the general contractor and then I sub out the work. So having Garfield work as the general contractor and I just act as the project manager, that has made this project go smooth, really smooth.
Yeah, really smooth. We passed inspection, the first inspection final we had. We passed it on the first go around, and we passed the fire marshal inspection the same day. No reschedule or anything. And that's the importance of having a team and having people working together and also having some patience, you know, due to the ups and downs. Because sometimes Snoop was like, what's going on, what's going on? I can understand because, you know, time is money. But everything, all the holdups was pretty much out of our hands. Delivery schedule, trying to find certain fixtures, certain items. You know, we had to deal with issues like those. But when we did call for inspection, we passed it on one day. When we called a fire marshal, passed it the same day. And it was ready to open for business the next following Monday.